Well, welcome to West Country Wanderings, here on another adventure in the West Country. Today we've moved south from Warwickshire, where we were last time at Charcote Park, and we're back in Gloucestershire. In fact, we're very close to where I was on the Cotswold Way. I passed very close to this village and I saw it from the distance, and although I was brought up in this area, I'd never had actually visited it before. Well, today I've decided to return. That village is called Cranham, and a fascinating place it is. Today we uncover the story of a well-known writer, a very famous composer, and a postwoman. So if you come with me, I'll tell you some more. Wonderful tributes here to the fallen, to the Great War, the Second World War. Here, this little memorial. Cranham is a small village in terms of population. I think it's some 400 people live here, including some famous people. Don't know if you know the singer-songwriter Lily Allen. She lives here. In fact, her father, Keith, who's a well-known Stroud person, he's an actor, kind of raconteur. He lives at nearby Minchinhampton. But enough of the celebrities, that's not why I'm here. The reason I'm here today is because I wanted to tell you more about the story of this wonderful place. It's got a church, a fantastic common, which we're going to have a look at shortly, and I'll say the story of those three people: the postwoman, the composer, and the very, very famous writer. Now, Cranham is a very spread out village. As I said, the population is some 400 people, but it covers quite a large geographical area. I'm currently standing talking to you on Cranham Common. The school and the church is down that way in front of me, but the village pub, the Black Horse, and the village hall, and perhaps the centre of the community where there's more cottages, is actually some 3/4 of a mile along that road. Behind me there, it's an unfenced road across a common. So the village is extremely spread out. There isn't a central point to this village, but it's an interesting place to explore. Now, although it doesn't have a central point, it does have a wonderful sense of community, and you get that feel here. It's one of those places where I've been to before, and I pick up a sense of community. Things are cared for and people are looking out for each other, and you certainly get that here. Really getting the sense of the autumnal colours here now. Now we've changed month, we're in the first. We've had a few days of very heavy rain. I managed to jump out and do a train video down in the south near Bristol, in between the showers, but here we're coming to a new month and things have changed. It's a lot drier, it's a lot colder, it's a lot sunnier. Now the sun has come out and hit on the top of those woodlands. You can really see the extent of the autumnal colour. Has been a mild autumn so far, which is why the leaves are changing colour more slowly. Now we're about 3 miles from the town of Painswick, and of course if that's really familiar, if you're following my Cotswold Way series, that lies in that direction, just the other side of that ridge of hill over there. So yeah, like nearby Minchinhampton Common, there are cattle freely grazing here on Cranham Common. Now I'm walking to a place called Gladys's Leap. Yes, that's clue number 1. I'll give you a clue. It goes over a stream, so a little bridge over the stream. The second clue is to do with a folk group, a very famous folk group, been going since the 1960s, still going strong. In fact, they recently performed at Stroud, just the other side of the valley here, and their name is Fairport Convention. Now in 1984, they released an album called Gladys's Leap. But why? I didn't mention about Cranham. It's an important place for wildlife. Just stuck up a poster there, just seen that. This area here is a nesting area for skylarks. In fact, we came across that previously when we were walking across Edge Common. We're only about 2 or 3 miles from that, but yes, it's a really important nature habitat here at Cranham. Now this is Gladys's Leap. Why was it called Gladys's Leap, you ask? Well, this bridge wasn't always here. It serves as a memory, a memorial to a lady called Gladys Hillier. Now Gladys Hillier was the local postwoman around Cranham. And I've just walked past a house. I'll insert the sign and the photograph of that house now. Now she used to deliver the post to that house. In order to get to that house, from the rest of her round would have involved doing a 1 mile detour. To avoid doing the 1 mile detour, she jumped across this stream here, and she did that for 35 years. Now, in order to commemorate such a fantastic feat of community-spirited devotion, the local people had this bridge built in her honour, and a fantastic bridge here, and indeed a fantastic place in the woodland here. Absolutely gorgeous white. So well done, Gladys. Now in 1984, the folk group, the Fairport Convention, decided to name one of their albums after Gladys's Leap, because one of the songwriters, I think it might have been Gabe and Tax, I will look that up and I'll drop that in the usual way below. They heard about the story and they wanted to commemorate it for her. The story doesn't end there. In 1977, the Ordnance Survey, yes, the same people that do the maps, they heard about a story as well, and actually for a while put this location on their map, marking it as Gladys Leap. Sadly, I've looked at my updated map. I think it was done in 2016, the latest one. I can't see any trace of it being marked now, but I have got the exact grid reference of it, and this is indeed, as confirmed by the post there, by the bridge, this is indeed the spot where she jumped over this delightful stream in this woodland. In 1949, the well-known author George Orwell, who wrote Animal Farm in 1984, came to Cranham. Why? So why did George Orwell come to Cranham? Well, prior to 1945, just prior to it, George Orwell had just completed 1984. He completed 1984 on the Isle of Jura, just off Scotland, mainland, in a cottage called Barn Hill. Now that cottage did not have any form of heating, indeed it was quite damp. Added to which, George Orwell had previously fought in the Spanish Civil War and may have contracted TB while there. He'd also lived rough in Paris while working out some research for his book Down and Out in Paris and London. So why did he come to Cranham? Well, Cranham at the time had a sanatorium specialising in TB in difficult cases, so George Orwell came here as a bit of a last resort to see if he could be cured of his TB. Unfortunately, it didn't work, and he went to the University College Hospital in London, and sadly he died just 6 months later. So what of the other famous person in Cranham, and who came here? Well, that was the composer Gustav Holst. Now, Gustav Holst was born in Cheltenham. His most famous work, or two most famous pieces, were probably the Planet Suite, but also the Christmas Carol in the Bleak Midwinter. Now, he didn't write the words to In the Bleak Midwinter. That was by a lady, I think she was called Catherine Rossetti. Certainly her surname was Rossetti. I'll drop that in the usual way. And he wrote the music for that very famous Christmas Carol here at Cranham in a particular cottage, and we'll go and see if we can find that now. Well, I've been walking around the village of Cranham trying to find this village, or should I say cottage even, where the Gustav Holst composer composed In the Bleak Midwinter the music. I've just come to the pub, delightful pub here. Just show you a second. So yeah, that's the Black Horse Inn or pub, heart of the community here in Cranham, and just a further few metres on from that, on the opposite side of the road, we have, there indeed it is, that is the cottage of Midwinter. Now, I did try to find some remains of the sanatorium. I had a drive around, been looking on the web, scouring the OS maps. Probably if I go onto the Scottish Library website, I might be able to find some images of it, well, not images, some markings of it where it was on the OS map back in the day. I'll go and see if I can do that, but sadly there's no remains of it, because I can see approximately where it once stood, where George Orwell would have gone for his treatment for TB, but it looks like there are no more remains of that hospital or sanatorium here in Cranham, sadly. Well, the clocks changed yesterday. We gained an hour in bed, but of course that means we've lost an hour in terms of light in the evening. It's now just gone 4 o'clock, and already the shadows are starting to draw across the common here at Cranham. I hope you enjoyed our little explore of the village today. I kind of got a taster for it when I was doing the Cotswold Way, but I had a feeling that it would be worth having a more depth explore here, and that certainly proved to be the case. I hope you enjoyed the tour too. If you did, please consider a like, or subscribe to my channel West Country Wanderings, perhaps a comment below, or share a link to this video to your friends or relatives. Anyway, I hope to see you all again. Take care of yourselves. All the best. Cheers. Bye bye for now.